start on your backs. Well, it has been probably a busy weekend, so you might be feeling that if you have a lot going on. Just gauge your own energy level this morning as we start to settle in and once we start to move. And you all know that you can take breaks when you need to. Challenge yourself if you're feeling up for that. You have the ability to change the intensity of your practice depending on how you feel. Take a nice deep inhale and a full exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And then reach your arms by your ears, stretch through the fingertips and the toes. And then hug the knees towards the chest. Just take some movement here with the knees hugged in. Maybe circle the knees or rock side to side. And then come back to stillness. Keep the right knee hugged in. Extend the left leg onto the mat. Take your right arm to a T and drop that leg over to the left for a twist. And then come back to center, change sides, hug the left knee in, extend the right leg out. Take the left arm to a T and drop that leg to the right for the twist. And then come back to center, hug both knees in towards the chest. And then extend your legs straight up towards the ceiling. So ankles stack over knees, over hips. You just take your arms to a T here. And then imagine there's a quarter at each of your big toes. Just start to trace that quarter with your toes. So you're making very, very tiny circles with the feet. Really seeing if you can try and keep your pelvis relatively still. You're gonna rock around just a little bit. See if you can zip in the low belly so you're not just wiggling all over the place with your torso and your pelvis. And then take those circles the other direction. Nice and easy and slow and tiny. And then release that, hug your knees in towards your chest. Just take a pause here. And then come into an upside down tabletop. So knees bent at a 90-degree angle, arms reaching up towards the ceiling. We'll take opposite leg, opposite arm here. So start to straighten your right leg, lower it to a hover as your left arm comes by your ear. And then return that back to your upside down tabletop. And this change sides, left leg lowers, right arm lowers, and then come back up. I'm gonna let you take this at your own pace here. Alternate leg and arm, or opposite leg and arm. as you're alternating side to side. Try not to rush it. The slower you go, the more challenge you're giving yourself. Make sure you're still breathing. I know I tend to hold my breath when I do this. And then the next time you've done your left leg, right arm, you're gonna just come back, hug your knees in towards your chest. We'll meet there. Take a little rock side to side. And then one more little bit of challenge here on the back. So that upside down tabletop with the legs. This time your arms will be in a T position. And then slowly take your legs to the right, but they're not going to come down. So just bring them to a hover and a little twist there. And then bring them back to center and take it over to the left. And again, I'm going to let you take this at your own pace. Try not to rush it. I'm making you work this morning first thing. Next time you've gone to the left again, you can come back to center, hug your knees towards your chest. We'll meet with the knees hugged back in. And then keep the knees bent, drop the feet down to the mat, take a bridge pose, press into the feet, lift the hips, just stretch that out. And then lower the hips down to the mat, hug your knees back towards your chest, and roll yourself up to a comfortable seated position. So once you're seated, just take the hands behind the head, interlace the fingers behind the head, keep your elbows nice and wide. Take an inhale here. Exhale, side bend, right elbow towards the right hip. It might not be very far. And then inhale back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale right. Inhale center. Exhale left. Inhale to center. This time, exhale, twist to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale to the left. Inhale to center. Exhale to the right. Inhale to center. And exhale to the left. Inhale to center, reach the arms up. And exhale, lower the arms down, change the cross of the legs, and just take some circles with the torso here. Just any size, any movement that feels good. And then take that the opposite way. And then just come back up to neutral. You can cross your feet over to the side, take yourself up into tabletop, and then just take some movement in your tabletop. Cat-cow or some movement of the hips, just any combination that feels good. Take one more cycle of breath after you take your exhale. Just bring your big toes together, come back to child's pose. And then come back up to your tabletop. Take your right leg up and back behind you so it's parallel to the mat. And then if you like, left arm's gonna come by the ear. We're just gonna hold here, so no movement today. So once you're there and you're trying to balance, Imagine you could pull your right hand and your left knee in towards each other. They're not going to move, but so you can hug everything in towards the midline to find some stability. Nice, easy breath. And then lower everything back to the tabletop. Wiggle your hips side to side. Quick little shake out. And then back to stillness in your tabletop. Take your left leg up and back. If you want, right arm by the ear. Imagine you could pull the left hand and the right knee towards each other. So you're firming everything towards the midline of the body. Keep breathing. And then lower everything to the tabletop, wiggle your hips side to side. And then come back into your child's pose. Make your way up through tabletop, tuck your toes, lift your hips. First down dog, just find some movement in your down dog. Then walk your feet forward to your hands, forward fold at the front of your mat. Just holding this first forward fold, maybe reaching hands for opposite elbows and swaying a little bit. And then release your hands to the mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step to plank. Inhale, just drop your knees, modified plank. You're gonna hold your modified plank for your exhale. Hold for your inhale. Hold for the exhale. One more inhale. And exhale, slow, controlled lower to your belly. Inhale for cobra, lift head and shoulders. And exhale, lower down, press through tabletop to downward facing dog. And then drop your knees to the mat so you can come back to your tabletop. Spin your right foot to the right long edge of your mat. Keep your right hand planted. Extend your left leg back and reach your left arm towards the ceiling. So you can stay right here. If you want to continue on with me, you want to move your right hand away from your body. So you may have to take your left hand to the mat so you can move your right hand towards the top edge of your mat. You're making a little wider stance here, and then reach your left arm back towards the ceiling. Take your left leg so it's parallel to the mat. You can stay right here if you want. You're going to start to lower and bend your left leg as you bring your hips towards the mat to a hover. And then press into the right hand, lift the hips, straighten and lift that left leg. I know it's hard. Bend and lower the left leg, hover the hips. And lift back up, extend the leg. Last one, bend, lower, and hover. And press back up. And then spin yourself back into tabletop. We'll go straight to the other side, spin the left foot to the left, extend the right leg back, reach the right arm up just to get set. And then to move that left hand, you might want to bring the right hand down, take that left hand a little away from the body, and then reach that right arm back up towards the ceiling. Good. Lift that right leg up parallel to the mat. And then bend that right leg, lower it as you lower the hips and hover them. Press into the left hand, lift the hips, lift the leg. Lower the leg, lower the hips, and hover. Last one, come all the way back up, extend the leg. And then lower and hover. Press back up, extend the leg. And then spin back to your tabletop. Wiggle your hips side to side. And then come to stillness, cat-cow, inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, curl the spine. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, curl the spine. Inhale, drop the belly. Exhale, curl the spine. And then back to your tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Just a couple breaths, let the breath even out. And then walk the feet forward to the hands, forward fold front of the mat. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen the chest. And exhale, fold back forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, step to plank. On your inhale, hold your plank. Hold for the exhale. Hold for the inhale. Hold for the exhale. Last inhale, hold here. And exhale, lower to your belly. 3 cobras here. Inhale, lift head and shoulders. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Maybe you take up dog, straightening the arms, pressing into the tops of the feet. And exhale, downward facing dog. And then walk your feet forward to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale for chair, sit back, take your arms up. And exhale, bring your torso forward as you take your arms back, kind of like you'd be skiing. We'll move between those two. Inhale, come back upright, arms by the ears. Exhale, torso forward, arms back. Inhale, back to chair, arms up. And exhale, torso forward, arms back. Inhale, back to chair, arms up. And then exhale, fold forward, straighten your legs. Inhale, lift up halfway. And exhale, fold back forward. This time bending your knees, taking your hips to your heels for a little squat. So you're in a tiny little ball here. Hands can stay on the mat. If you want, you can lift the chest, bring the hands to the heart. And then take your knees a little wide, hands to the mat. Try and slowly make your way back to seated so you can come into boat pose. Lift the feet, reach the fingertips forward. It's a hard class this morning. I'm making you work. I know Michelle likes it. And then you can drop your feet to the mat or cross the shins, finding your way back into tabletop. And then downward facing dog. And take your right leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, drop the back knee down to the mat, and reach the arms up by the ears. And then bend the elbows, interlace the fingers behind the back so the elbows are wide like we did earlier when you were seated. And then twist the torso to the right. Now you can stay right here. If you want to try it, you're going to start to lean forward, staying in the twist, tapping the left elbow to the right knee. Ooh. And then stay in the twist, come back upright. You're going to do that 2 more times if you want. Left elbow to right knee. And back upright. Good, last one, left elbow to right knee. And back upright. And then just unwind the torso, come back forward, reach your arms up. And then take your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. You have a couple breaths here in your down dog. Just let everything settle. And then take the left leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, drop the back knee down and reach the arms up by the ears. Just staying here, taking several breaths. And then bend the elbows, you can interlace the fingers behind the head, elbows wide. Take the twist of the torso to the left, stay upright for a moment. And then if you'd like, you can slowly bring that right elbow to the left knee, that little lean forward, good. And then come all the way back up. 2 more like that, elbow to knee. And back up. And elbow to knee. And back up. Unwind, come forward, reach your arms up by your ears. And then take your hands down, frame your front foot, step back, downward facing dog. You can always drop your knees for tabletop or child's pose. A lot of challenging things in today's class, so feel free to take some breaks if you need to. Like little spurts of challenge, but we'll get your breath going, your heart going. And then walk your feet forward to your hands. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing, reach up. And exhale, bring your hands to your heart. And then just bring your hands to your hips. Keep your hands there, bend your knees, take a little chair pose. And then shift weight into the left foot so you can hug your right knee in towards your chest. You're balancing on a bent left leg here. And then pull your right heel towards your butt as you point your right knee down to the mat. Ooh, hi, good morning. And hug your right knee back in. And then lower your right foot down. We'll take the other side, weight into the right foot, hug your left knee in towards your chest. And then pull the left heel towards the butt as the left knee points down. And then hug your left knee back in towards your chest. And then lower the left foot back down. Both knees are bent, both feet are down. Take your arms up by your ears for chair pose. And then bring your hands to the mat, straighten your legs for a standing forward fold. Bend the knees, hips to the heels, you're in that little squat again. And then bring your hands to your heart if you want. You can stay forward if you want, very slowly. Twist to the right, take your arms to a T. Good. And then slowly come back to center, hands to the heart. Twist to the left, take your arms to a T, take your time. And then slowly back hands to the heart. Knees aligned, fingers down. You guys did great with that. Take your hips to the mat, come back to Navasana boat pose. Whew. You can stay here if you want. You're gonna come halfway down, Ardha Navasana, straighten your legs. And then come all the way back up, bend the legs. 2 more like that, halfway down, straighten the legs. And back up, bend the legs. Last one, halfway down. And back up. Cross your shins, make your way to tabletop. And then bring your big toes together. Heel, take a child's pose, you deserve it. I think I froze, but we're in child's pose if you didn't hear me, yeah. Ooh, just relax. Use the next several rounds of breath to let the breath soften. Enjoy the moments of effort and the moments of rest. Make your way back through tabletop to your down dog. And then come forward into plank. Lower all the way to the belly. And once you're on your belly, interlace the fingers behind the head like we've been doing, elbows wide. And then lift everything up for locust with this different arm variation. So arms, head, shoulders, and legs will lift. And then lower everything down, the hands by the sides of the rib cage. Press through tabletop to downward facing dog. And take your right leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, spin the back heel down, come into warrior 2, curl your arms up to a T. And then straighten your right leg, start to reach forward, come into triangle pose, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. And then we're gonna take really tiny pulses here. So on your inhale, reach up through your left hand to a little lift of the torso. And then exhale, return back to your triangle. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Last one, inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale back to your warrior two. Exhale, hands frame your front foot, your way to down dog, vinyasa or skip. And then take your left leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, spin the back heel down, come up to your warrior two, arms to a T. And then straighten the left leg, start to reach forward, hinge into triangle pose, right arm up. And then reach through the right fingertips so you can lift the torso just a little bit. And then lower back down. Press into both feet as you lift up. And lower down. Two more, lift up. And lower. And up. And lower. Back up to your warrior two. Cartwheel your hands down, your way back, downward facing dog. And then come forward to plank. You can drop your knees if you want and lower all the way down to your belly. Slide your forearms forward, come into Sphinx pose, palms flat, forearms parallel. It's a gentle lift of the chest and spread of the collarbones. And then lower everything down, just slide the hands back by the sides of the rib cage, press through tabletop to downward facing dog. And then take your right leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, spin the back heel down and come up to your warrior two again. This time, slowly make your way forward into half moon pose. Right hand to mat or block, left leg up, left arm up. And then once you feel steady, you can stay there. If you want, you're gonna hover, just like we did in triangle, lifting the torso and the hand, and then lowering back down. And then little lift up and back down. Last one, little lift and lower. And then nice and easy back to your warrior two. Just pause there, take an inhale and an exhale. And then cartwheel your hands down, your way to downward facing dog. Still taking vinyasas. That means this class has been too easy. I thought it was hard. All right, take your left leg up and back. Bring the foot between the hands, spin the back heel down, come up into warrior two. And then straight into your half moon pose, left hand to mat or block, right leg up, right arm up. Remember, you can be still if you want. You're gonna lift up a little bit and lower back down. And lift up and lower. Last one, up and lower. And then back to your warrior two. Pause there, take a breath. And then cartwheel your hands down, frame your front foot, your way to downward facing dog. And walk your hands and your feet towards each other, forward fold at the center of your mat. Heels in, toes out, feet a little wider than the hips. I don't think I said that. And then bend the knees, hips to heels, coming into Malasana. And still hard. And then take the hands to the mat, straighten the legs, lift the hips, walk the feet, hips distance and parallel. Inhale, lift halfway. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. And exhale, hands to the heart. And then just bring your hands to your hips. Keep them there as you bend your knees to take chair pose. Put weight into the left foot, hover your right foot, and then cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So you're doing like a standing figure four. And then take your hands to your heart. You can stay upright and just hold here. If you want, you're gonna start to lean forward, take your hips back, bring your forearms to your right shin. And then slowly come back upright. Two more like that if you want, forearms to shin. And back upright. Last one, forearms to shin. And back upright. Straighten your standing leg as you hug your right knee towards your chest. And then lower the right foot, lower the arms, give yourself a shake. Whew, that was hard. I haven't done that in a while. I feel like we should do that more. All right, hands to the hips. Bend the knees, little chair pose. Weight into the right foot, hover the left foot. Left ankle over right thigh. Hands to the heart. Remember, you don't have to move. You can stay here or lean forward, take your hips back, forearms to shin. And then come back upright. And then take it forward, forearms to shin. And back upright. Last one, forearms to shin. And back upright. Straighten your standing leg, hug your left knee in towards your chest. Lower the foot, lower the arm, shake that out. So last little bit of effort here. Come back to mountain pose right where you are. Know that all the craziness is over. Take an inhale, reach your arms up. And exhale, fold all the way forward. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, last vinyasa opportunity. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And drop your knees to the mat, hips to heels, come into child's pose. Just take a moment to be proud of yourself. One, for showing up this morning. I know it's always hard to get out of bed, but also for doing some really challenging things this morning. Then make your way back to your tabletop. Just take your feet over to the side so you can come to seated. Take your legs out straight and wide so you're in a straddle position here, Upishta Konasana. And then bend your right knee, sole of the right foot to inner left thigh. And then just reach the arms up by the ears and take a side bend over to the left towards your straight leg. And then come back to center, both arms up, right palm to the mat, side bend to the other side. And then come back upright, both arms by the ears, and then twist the torso to the right towards your bent leg. So right hand behind you, left hand outside of thigh. And then bring your torso back forward, unwind that twist, and just re-extend your right leg out and change sides. Bend the left knee, pull that foot to the inner thigh. Take the arms up by the ears and take a side bend towards your straight right leg. And then come upright, both arms up, left hand down, side bend to the left. And then back upright, both arms up, twist over to the left, left hand behind you, right hand's outside of that bent leg thigh. And then unwind the torso, come back forward, re-extend your left leg so both legs are straight. Take the hands in front of you and then walk your hands forward, however far forward you'd like, maybe dropping to forearms here. And then make the breath your focus. And as you do that, just see if you can allow your body to soften instead of forcing or resisting. And then come all the way back up, draw your legs together, bend the knees, feet to the mat, maybe scoot forward so you have space to roll back. Hands behind the thighs, come all the way back to your back and hug your knees towards your chest. Take a rock side to side here. And then keep the knees bent, drop the feet down to the mat, setting up for bridge here. Feet hips distance apart, arms by the sides, and then press into the feet, lift the hips, come into bridge. And then lower the hips down to the mat. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, setting up for thread the needle, and then hug your left thigh in towards your chest. And then just unwind that, change sides, left ankle over right thigh, hug the right thigh in. And then unwind the legs, keep the knees bent, drop the feet to the mat so they're at the long edges of the mat, wider than the hips. Take your arms to a T and just windshield wiper the knees side to side. And then bring the knees up to center. Just keep the feet at the long edges of the mat and let the knees knock in towards each other at the midline of the body. And you may have to adjust your feet a little bit, maybe a little closer, a little further away. Just find a stance with your feet that feels good for your low back. And then gently hug your knees in towards your chest. You can stay there or maybe come into a happy baby and rock a little bit. And if you're in happy baby, release that. Hug your knees towards your chest. Give yourself a final hug. And then release that. Find your way into Shavasana. Start to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Circle your ankles in this. Reach your arms by your ears, nice big stretch. Roll off to one side, pause there, eyes closed. And then use your top hand to press yourself all the way up to a comfortable seat, eyes closed, hands at the heart. I have an affirmation for this morning. So I'll read it once fast and I'll read it a second time slow. So the second time, if you want to repeat it to yourself, you can. It says, I am rooted in who I am and allowing myself to grow, evolve, and expand. So a little slower this time. You can repeat it to yourself if you like. I am rooted in who I am and allowing myself to grow, evolve, and expand. Have a wonderful rest of your day. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.